Let's go. All right, so this isn't storm damage, but we'll just point some stuff out here. You got a hole right here where there's wood showing.
Yeah. What those holes are like, where they're made out of, like, how do they?
Because there's two that are very similar from the bottom of each exposure, maybe somebody set a ladder up.
Yeah, right?
Something like that. Nothing on this exposure. Do a quick look over here. Yep. So I got missing shingle right there. Another creased shingle right here. You can see that crease, see it?
Yep.
And you feel it. Very, very broken.
So they all have to be stick like this?
So what you're looking for with wind damage, you see how there's a crease at the top? If you don't see that, then it's probably not going to be damaged. So you have another one right there at that gutter. Do you see that down in the bottom? So you got 1, 2, 3. So with how old this roof is, with that damage, this whole slope would have to be replaced. Yep, and it could be an easy explanation, and all you need is just the proof, and that's easy to do, because you basically just say, hey, you can write for repairs. We'll attempt to do the repairs on video, and you'll see that it's not repairable. So here we go. We got another crease right here. And then for you, I'll show you a little pro tip. So I don't want you to do what I do, because I got different shoes on. But basically, you don't need much to stay on a roof. You don't want to pull. Yeah, you don't want to rip your. So there's two ways you can do this, because with your Crocs, you can find where a shingle is kind of already like this, and you just hold on and then set yourself by holding onto this gutter, and then you just find one more. And here, I'm going to mark this path for you so you know which one to grab. Let's find one more for you. There's one.
Like that.
Huh?
How they stick them on? You know how some are sticky?
So that just means your adhesive isn't failing. So I don't ever pop the adhesive, because that's very unnecessary. So it's just adhesive. There you go. So now what we're gonna do is, you can see there's a lot more damage. So look right here. You have this shingle right here has a crease. This shingle has a crease. And here's the crazy thing right here. So this is a weaved valley. So that means this shingle starts right here and goes all the way into this section. So that's a full shingle right there. And then this shingle starts right here and goes all the way in right here. So because, yep, it's called a weave. It's not the best way to do a valley, but it's a way that a lot of older houses were roofed. But because you have damage at the bottom of these valleys, and it's so low, whenever you have irreparable damage on a roof that's really low, if you can't repair the bottom, it moves up like dominoes. So because it's a weave valley, you can already say that the front and this section right here would have to be replaced. Let's see here. Yeah, and see how I'm stepping kind of like this? Best way not to fall. Exactly. Another crease right here. You can see it's a little lighter, but it's there. So we got box vents. What I do when I get people's roofs covered, instead of putting these things back, I cut in ridge vent. So see if you see how your neighbor has that on the top. Better system, breathes better, makes your roof.
Like the pole?
You see at the top of the ridge, you see on that top, you see like it's right underneath the ridge cap that you're stepping on. Do you see it on their roof?
Yeah.
So that's called a ridge vent, and that's a way better ventilation system. And whenever I get somebody covered through their insurance, I always cover these box vents up and I put a ridge vent on instead. I don't charge extra either. I just do that because it's a better roof system. Looks like you got very old hail. Doesn't matter anymore because that looks extremely old hail. What gaps? Where?
You see that there's white, like a white line right there?
So this is called step flashing. So this is important because right here is called BG, your builder's gap. So wherever you have a roof that meets the wall, there's going to be a gap. And so this right here, basically just imagine it's just a piece of metal in the shape of an L. And this right here goes underneath this part, and you follow it when you do your shingles. So like say you start here. So right here you have a kick out, and you, on this top of this shingle, you put your kick out. Then on top of this shingle, you put a piece of step flash, and you keep doing that. And it's gonna put all the water off that builder's gap and divert it out so it doesn't leak. And then the siding acts as your counter flashing, so it prevents water from getting behind your flashing. Yep. And this right here is the same, is a kick out. So this is designed to move the water out. So yeah, so that's crazy they put a box vent here. That's insane. Because you see this right here, any exposed nail, that's gonna leak. Yeah, yep, that's gonna leak. So I'll make sure I get my caulking. We're gonna cover some nails, so let's see. So you start to notice that and you're like, uh-oh. More exposed nails right here. But usually a nail, it's gonna, I mean, it.
How does the roof feel? Like, it feels like.
Oh, it's solid.
Solid?
Yeah, it's solid. So here we have a crease right here. I'm glad we had a little bit of damage on that side because I was wondering if there was not going to be any. Yeah, that's what I think actually signaled me to first stop in the first place when I saw you had those missing flipped up shingles. That's actually your framing. That's from your decking, the wood.
Yeah.
And what that tells me is, when I see something like that, that means it's old and your roof is underventilated because nails work back up like that when you have too much moisture in the inside, and then it gets hot. Yeah, just. So that means that these box vents, they're not adequately ventilating your attic space. To do it properly and have this roof actually last a long time when it gets redone, we would want to cut in ridge vent on this entire gable extension, and we'd want to cut in a ridge vent along this as well. Yep, and because this ridge line meets here, we would actually want to not do a ridge vent right here. So we'd want to leave this not cut. Because if you had a cut here connected to a cut here, you could have a leak. Yep. Crease right there. Yeah, I can tell you do a little construction.
Yeah, I do framing.
I can tell. Yeah, not people that don't do construction won't do what you just did. So we got that. Another crease right here.
I wanted to get on top of a roof, like see what it feels like, because I know.
Yeah, I mean,
like the guys be playing and stuff.
Your roof is actually, it's pretty good. I can tell there's not a lot of rot. So typically when we replace these old roofs, we find a little bit of rot and we got to replace some boards, which is pretty normal. And I can just tell that, yeah, I mean, your roof has been lasting. It's definitely needs a little love and
Yeah, just a little bit, right?
just a little bit. But from what I'm seeing, with all the damage that you have
Yeah.
and where it's located, I feel confident I can get you guys a whole roof covered, because you have damage everywhere. Yeah. It's not just like one place. You even have a crease stain there. Yeah, so this is a roof that I absolutely feel confident about that you would, we could get you covered on. Do you guys know who's your insurance?
It should be, I think, State Farm. I'm
Yep.
not sure, though.
Okay.
We gotta act right.
That'd be good if it was State Farm, because that means you'd get fully covered and brought up to code too. So this is the reason why we don't see a lot of damage. This would be considered the non-windward side because you have trees and then you have this house's elevation kind of protecting it. But yeah, man, your roof's pretty smoked with the old hail damage. And
What about this? Like, it looks like it's kind of like building up right here.
like it's got a hump.
Yeah, like
So the reason why, this is right where you have a joist and settling.
okay.
So yeah, so a lot of houses do that because a lot of houses are not built perfectly framed.
Yeah,
No, I had my install that I'm gonna post on social media. I have so many that I need to get on, but the one that I did yesterday, the framing was so bad I had to go in and fix framing. Like, it was like so crooked.
Yeah.
Like it looked like the roof had scoliosis. It was bad. So we had to like shave off some sides and like sister in some other boards to make it like kind of even. It was, yeah, I mean, if we were to actually do it like to the point where it was like perfect, I told the homeowner I have to tear off the whole roof. And he was like, "No, don't do that." So this is a good roof though. And then to get back down, you just kind of you just go reverse. You just kind of grab this, just gently. And make sure when you're stepping down, going reverse, make sure you plant your whole foot to where you feel your heel touching.
Okay.
That's very important, because if you don't, you'll slide. Those Crocs are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
You just realize, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I have a pair of my own just for roofing. And I don't know if you're into like health, but Crocs are actually European, and the reason why they're designed that way is because they don't want your shoes constricting your feet, because we're actually going through an epidemic right now where shoes are restricting people's feet. And what that does is it actually prevents
Like your balance and stuff.
your balance. I mean, yeah, your foot health is so important. I mean, they said that's pretty equivocal to walking barefoot, which is like one of the healthiest things you can do. So they really are. That's why I have a pair. And then last thing I do when I check for is right here on these edges. Whenever I'm working with insurance, one thing I'm looking for is this thing called starter strip. So you have starter strip, which is, it's basically a double adhesive shingle. So there's a shingle underneath here you can see. And the whole point of this is it's to prevent from wind and water from getting directly in through the edge of the roof. And surprisingly, you actually even have drip edge, which is really good. So you even have drip edge, but it's installed improperly because they put the drip edge on top of the felt. And if you think about the way water runs, felt, it goes behind the drip edge instead of over the drip edge and into the gutter. So you can kind of, when you're getting down, just imagine, just lift up how far you see me so you can see this metal here, and just imagine pouring water on top. So you have felt, which is, you know, that black stuff, that black paper. Yeah. So imagine pouring water on that and just think about how water is going to run. So this drip edge should be underneath the felt, and you'll see what it's not doing that. So You can, yeah, I did the whole video.